Hi, I'm the messenger. Welcome to my new video. The part that I want to show off this time starts at the densely populated urban areas right next to the inner city and goes outwards to where the outskirts of the city merge with a village on a hill. Because I had lost many trees due to some mod update and replacement shenanigans, I also redid all the woods and trees in the rural area across the river. I'm quite proud that I now can do an uncut camera move like this one, spanning from the inner city to the highway. This is the district of Breuwitz and its main street. In the innermost area, the buildings are as big as in the inner city. And they get gradually lower the farther out you get. Eventually being replaced by single-family homes. At the far end it gets a bit denser again, as the road slopes upward to the village of Höbenkreit, which merges into the outskirts of the big city. This street is part of the ring road that goes around the inner city. This part got a complete rework, as it now has detailed areas on both sides, one more junction, and one junction got a fourth arm. I had to redo all time traffic lights and the street markings. It also got 2 pairs of custom tram stations. Again, I blocked cars from using certain lanes, so I can repurpose them and decorate the stations or the parking cars. The trams and buses are made after the ones they use in my city. Also the ads are made after real ones. Such details really help my immersion in my city. At one side of the new build is a tram hub. It has space for 4 more tram stations, 4 bus stations and a metro station. Half of them are in use right now. Directly next to the tram hub is my university and its library. On the other side of the university is my city park. Now this is both a functional 5-star city main park and a highly decorated area, like I use invisible gates so I can freely decorate my entrances. You will see a lot of DLC assets. I hope I made them blend in well with the custom decoration. That's the main entrance with a custom bus stop in front and that custom tram station I already showed you right around the corner. The park has a lot of entrances. This one is the second most important, as 2 more tram lines have stations at that corner. I've placed some statues to break the impression of gazebos everywhere. Most of them are made after real ones, like Schubert here, or this Wiener Stemilo. There is a pier to enjoy the lake, and if you look closely you can see a teenage couple sitting at the edge dangling their feet. At the far end the park turns from landscape park to communal park. There is a children's and an elderly playground right next to each other, and some communal gardens on top. Right behind the city park and the tram depot is a quite dense urban area. Buildings are up to 7 stories high. And there is a Gemeindebau, like on the other side of town. big blocks of samey looking buildings, city-funded affordable apartments. There are some eye-catchers, like those churches, strewn around the grid. Apart from being a tourist attraction itself, this church has an elementary school for added activity. It's hidden behind the side entrance. It's not only churches. See this group of medieval house fronts on columns over the sidewalk? Or this old and prestigious school. As we move outwards, the buildings get gradually lower and lower. You can see it quite nicely in this shot. 4 stories, 2 stories, some even single-floored. Again, some eye-catchers like parks strewn in to mix up the grid. And then there is this little gem. An old factory building that survived the changes of times. A century ago, when this area was at the outskirts of the city, there were a couple manufacturing plants like this one in this area. All the other got replaced by residential buildings as the city grew. Only this one managed to adapt to the new times and survived in its old facilities. I bet the inside is rather high-tech by now. These are 4 working industry buildings back to back. There is an invisible road in the yard. You can see it where I placed the tire marks. I gave them big doors at the back and moved all their spawn points behind those doors, so deliveries will use the invisible road to drive into the yard and use those doors. Just a little detail. Those 2 are delivering some liquid chemicals. I spent quite some time on this loading the truck scene. I used procedural objects to make the hydraulic tail lift horizontal, to open up the backside, to give the inside a floor and walls as those were see-through. I edited the worker and the pallet cart so it looks like he is waving at the forklift while pulling the cart. I cut the logo from the building to mount it on the side of the truck and recolored the truck so it fits the logo. At the outskirts, the building density gets lower again and detached single-family homes replace the last attached buildings. Every property got their own style of hedge and fencing. You know, I live in an area like this. Single family homes on a hill. It was a lot of work to do all these fences and gates. And it paid off. I think it looks great. Another local asset. Billa is one of the main local supermarket chains. I plan my city layout like a classical European star city. There's an inner core and main roads are mostly going from the core outwards like in this view. And some have to connect the outskirts. This one, the Erwin Schrödinger Allee, will be quite important. It starts at the highway, connects to a couple radial main streets, and eventually leads to another highway interchange, my cargo harbor and a lot of not yet built city. And then even farther out is the village of Höbengreit that merges with the outskirts of the city. Let's take a first-person tram ride there. We start in the middle of the area I did already show you. crossing Erwin-Schrödinger Allee, now we are climbing up the hill. And we are officially in Höbengreit. Just one more stop and we are at the central square. Höbengreit is a small village that formed around a church on a hill and by now is merging into the outskirts of the big city. Where it's not touching the big city, it's surrounded by the Erwin-Schrödinger Nature Park. The green-roofed building is the park's main entrance. It has its own bus stop and a giant parking lot. Höbengreit in the background. Across the parking lot is the park maintenance and a bird rewilding station. Once the city grows, I want to continue the park in this direction. There is another smaller parking lot at the other end. There are countless minor entrances. All of them are invisible park gates, so they count visitors. There are a lot of nice places like this platform or the fishing pier in this park. The park is giant. If you want, you can go for quite a long walk until you reach the end. At the beach, you will come across some bouldering sites. This is a safe grilling site where it's allowed to start a fire. Did I mention? The whole park is huge. There was the main entrance with its parking lot, the fishing piers, the bouldering sites, and the really long way out to the hilltop viewing platform and the fireplaces. This view is so nice. I shot this scene to show you something else, but can't get over how picturesque the start of it is. At the start of the video, I mentioned how proud I am that I now can do very long uninterrupted camera moves. This is the longest one. It starts at the rural highway interchange, goes over the area I showed you today, shows the inner city, and the district across the river. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I really hope you liked the view.